Hello, welcome to the Dr. Dare Show. I just stopped in to do my first live introduction. I am planning to do a live show on next Thursday, the January the 23rd. Um, I froze up. Yes, so waiting for people to join in, but this is just an introduction to my live that I'm planning on doing on January 1st. Not January 1st, I'm sorry. January 23rd, 2020, next Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday. And I'm going to be, you can bring me your questions. We can discuss relationships. We can discuss any of the shows that I've done previously, any questions you have on those, or just any relationship questions, adjustment questions. I am a mental health therapist, so we won't get into details. You don't have to describe your personal information, but yes, we will be going live next week. So just a heads up. This is just an introduction, like I said. And I'm going live on Instagram too right now, just to be inconsistent. Be consistent, not inconsistent. I don't have anybody on right now. So yeah, we'll just wait. Just practicing my live. Anybody out there? Anybody out there? Anybody out there? It's one person out there. Any questions for me? I'm just actually preparing. Like I said, if you missed this, I'm doing a live show on January 23rd at 9 p.m. Eastern, which is next Thursday at 9 p.m. Taking all questions. You can ask me questions on any videos that I've done thus far, or any relationship questions, or any issues that you may be having. Yep. And I'm just on here right now, just testing my live to make sure it works for that day, right? Oh. So, what is going on? Yes, so I've covered several shows. Let me see. I'm just going to go through what I've covered. It's been a lot since I started. I originally created this show to cover like the shows on the ID channel, because I do, as a therapist, I find those shows very interesting. I like to watch people's personality change from what I would say would be normal to maybe not so normal, displaying mental health issues. And so that's kind of where I'm at now. And so let me go down the list of my shows that I've done so far. So I've done a show on People Don't Just Disappear, the Selena Shelley Not Afraid case. It's where a Native American girl, only 16 years old, Selena Not Afraid, went missing after New Year's Day, and is still missing. Check out that video, that show. Then I did the show for the fight for the life of baby Tinsley Lewis, where a mother in Fort Worth, Texas, is fighting to keep her baby, her premature baby, on life support. Yeah, she's still fighting that fight. I think they're still in a court case or still resolving that court case. The next one I did, the support for the military, troops, and family, even if we don't care for Trump. Most of us have family in the military, so I feel like we should support the military, whether you agree with Trump or not. That was one. Then people don't just disappear. Where is Calandra Stallworth? Her case is, she's still missing. She's been missing 3 years now. She went missing March 27th. She has 2 kids and her family. They're still looking for her. Again, check out that video. And then I did a don't compare your life to social media profiles. And my premise on that video on that show is that when we share things on social media, we're not going to share the bad things. Most of us don't. Majority of us don't. We share positive things, right? So that was the premise of that show. And then the next show was, and I'm going from the latest to initial, Do Your Friends Have Your Back? And that's the Peyton Houston show. Not Peyton Houston show, sorry. The Peyton Houston case where Peyton went missing after going out with some coworkers and some friends, and allegedly text saying she was in trouble. She was with some people that she didn't know, and disappeared. So that was the next case. Then I do some therapy stuff because I go between hot topics and mental health stuff. The next one is how to make your New Year's resolutions, and I use what we call the SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, and what else we have? Relevant and time-based. Yeah. Sorry. I've done a lot of shows, so it's kind of like I'm trying to regurgitate these topics back to you. Then we did there was a Mexican girl ran over by Nicole Marie Poole Franklin. My question to that, was it a racial rage or was it a meth rage? And you can check out the videos. I'm not going to give every specific. And then there was my next show was a nice school shooting would silence the impeachment news coverage. That was Chuck Bonniwell on his show made that comment about a nice school shooting would be nice just to silence the impeachment stuff. So I covered that topic. I got a lot of views on that. I got a lot of views on the Calandra Stallworth case as well. A lot of people are interested in that case. Again, with the missing cases, I am not an investigator, right? So if you have any information on any of those missing cases, please contact the numbers that I provided in the video or in the details beneath the video. That information needs to go to authorities so that they can, do more research on those cases. So just wanted to put that out there because, I'm interested in those cases. I think that's what I like to do is try to present the topics to people so that this information can get out there so that the investigations can take place. But I am not an investigator. So any information that you have, share with the Crestview Police Department for Calandra Stallworth, and then for Peyton, let's see where she was. Peyton was in Birmingham, Alabama. Yeah. And so all the information, all the contact information that you need for those missing persons cases are in the description of the show. So if you do have any information on those cases, please share that with the police department. Share this video with the police department. I'm just saying, I'm not an investigator. I just put the information out there. Yes. Hopefully we'll get those girls back home where they belong. Selena and Calandra. Rest in peace, Peyton Houston. And yeah, so again, for people just joining, on next Thursday, January 23rd, at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, we will be right here on YouTube, and I'm going to try to do my Instagram channel, and we will be discussing whatever topics you bring me, whether it's mental health, hot topics, any other videos that I covered. We can talk about those in detail. If you want to provide any additional information, that's your time, so that everybody who's on the stream can hear it. I've done a lot of shows. So the next one was Carol Sanchez. You're in trouble, girl. This is where Carol Sanchez made up the story that she was kidnapped and had everybody looking for her. I think it was in New York. And coming to find out, she only did that to, I guess, spend time with her boyfriend. Right? So, Carol Sanchez, you're in trouble, girl. I don't know what happened to that case. I think the last thing I heard was that the family was moving to, I think, Barbados or somewhere. Wherever they came from, that's where they originated. That's where the mother was saying, we're going back there. So, yeah, that was an interesting case. Then why can't we forgive Mike Vick? That was when they were nominating Mike Vick for, let's see what we said. Yeah, they were nominating him for an award to be a captain, I forgot, or something like that. And there was a petition out there, but of course the NFL went with their decision to still honor him as a captain. So that's kind of resolved that case. So then I did a stressing. Is your family or family, friends, or life stressing you out? The Deanna Elliott case. This is when I remember this case. It's when Diana left her baby, was it a baby or 14-year-old at the hospital due to stress. And I just kind of went over issues with stress. So if you have any issues with stress, I gave some tips on how to handle that as well. What else? Next story was, why did the cops not check to see if the UPS driver was in the truck? Yeah, this was a robbery that took place in Coral Gables, Florida. Where the UPS driver unfortunately lost his life when there was a shootout between the suspects and the cops, and he was just an innocent UPS driver, went to work actually covering for somebody else and got caught up in this fiasco. So that was that story. All of these stories are in my videos on my shows, and you can just click on them and open them, and voila, they're there. So what else? I see one person out there. I can't see who you are, so you don't have to hide or anything. But if you wanted to ask me a question, just send me a link. And then you were acquitted of murder. Leave the Trayvon Martin family alone. So we were talking about George Zimmerman. We had some good insight on that from other people who had different views. And again, on the Dr. Dare Show, we welcome different views. I'm not saying that my opinion is right or what I'm stating is the right answer or response. As a therapist, you know that everybody's perspective is not always reality. Just because I feel one way and you feel one way, I believe letting the facts speak for themselves. Say, for instance, if I feel like you don't like me, the best thing, that's my perspective, right? And the best thing to do is for me to say and ask you, do you like me? So that you can say, oh, yeah, I like you. You're cool. You're a cool person. Or you can say, no, I can't stand you. But what that does is that validates your perception, whether it's true or not. And I guarantee probably 9 times out of 10, hopefully the person won't lie to you, but your perception is probably not right. But that's, you owe it to yourself to always question that. So yeah, that's why I allow different perceptions to come in. Then the next one, this was a sad case where the football player committed suicide. The title was "If My Family Member Did It, I Can Do It, a Suicide Family Trait." Because what we learned in therapy is that if you are in a family where someone committed suicide previously, you look at that as a way to escape whatever you're going through, so you can do it. So we always, that's one of the assessment questions you ask a client when you're working with them: has anybody in your family ever committed suicide? And this was the football player, his George Atkins III was his name, and his twin brother had committed suicide the year before, and he never really got over it, and so he committed suicide. And that's goes along with what I was saying. If somebody in your family has committed suicide, 9 times out of 10, they will. Somebody else will, because that's a way out. They think that's a way out. It's not a way out. Oh, I got something on my face. Sorry. Again, I just did this live to introduce myself and kind of give an overview of what I've been working on. I've done 30 plus videos since I started this channel, and I love doing this channel. I am trying to build my numbers, but for me, it's about having fun and doing these topics that I love. And what I found is that people are now reaching out to me about missing people, and can I do a story on their family members, excuse me. Yeah, their family members. And that means a lot, because I do all the cases that I've done. I am really there for that family. And my goal, what I want you to get out of it, is take my video of the information that I presented about your missing family member and share it. Because again, I'm not an investigator, and I don't want you sending me information and that you need to send to the cop, because I'm not skilled in that. That's not my skill set. So, yeah. And so again, next Thursday, the 23rd, we will be doing a live at 9 p.m. You can bring me any questions that you have, mental health questions. We won't get into too much detail. I will refer you to therapists if that is why you're on here, depending on what the content of your question is. We can talk about mental health issues. We can talk about all of the videos, any of the videos or any of the videos or the shows that we've done thus far. Or we can talk about any like life coaching issues, But after this initial introduction live video, I will schedule live videos on a weekly basis, and they will be based on a specific topic. And if you want to give me a topic to talk about, send me a message in my email or here live, and I will do research on it and we can talk about it. So the next video, I have done a lot of videos. It was vaping, and I was vaping and I didn't wake up. The Kyle Boyd case. So Kyle Boyd was a young guy who had no health problems previously before he started vaping. And then his family said he just didn't wake up. And he was actually using vaping to combat different some addictions that he had. I don't know specifically what they are. Check out the video. because I don't want to misquote information. And so, I got a lot of feedback from that video as well. Interesting information about vaping and how it is effective for some people to quit, to combat the nicotine addiction and stuff like that. So anytime doing a video, like I said, they're open questions, which means you can chime in and say, no, Dr. Dare, this is this. And the person that I was communicating with this topic gave me a lot of information, and I really appreciate it. Again, there is no judgment zone here. Let's see. The next one was Stay Out of It. It's None of Your Business, the Anaya Blanchard case. And this was based on a witness that saw Anaya. Anaya's, rest in peace, Anaya. She was murdered. And there was witnesses that saw her being put into a car, and they didn't report it till later, and they kind of felt bad. And again, I got some comments and questions saying, maybe she thought it was just like a marital dispute or something like that, which I get. It's just, my thing was to make people aware of, if you see something really, really strange, be on the side of caution, and do what you need to do to contact the police or ask if everything's okay. I would probably contact the police because I don't want to get into the middle of something, and let the police do their job. That's what they're there for. That's the Anaya Blanchard case. And then there was a lot of sex and human trafficking stories on social media. And the reason why I did this video, because I was talking to some of my friends, and I was like, I'm hearing all this human and sex trafficking stories on social media, but I hadn't seen anything on the news, or any parents of the children who are supposedly kidnapped or, have disappeared. And I hadn't seen any pleas of help from them on YouTube or any other social media, or even on the news. And so I thought that was strange. And I just felt like, is this a hoax? Is this something that, is made up? Because I believe a lot of stuff on social media is just like somebody sitting behind a computer, and it's just like a rumor mill, and they put out some story and they fabricate it, and then it gets everybody hysterical, and then everybody's all over the place with it. So that's why I did that one. And then I did the next video. A lot of videos. Tips for Black church safety. And the topic is tips for Black church safety, teenagers and racism, Gainesville, Georgia. Yeah. So what happened here was that there was a planned attack on a historical Black church in Gainesville, Georgia by a white teen. It was prevented because the people in that community did what they were supposed to do. They saw something, they reported it, it got investigated, and it got squashed. And that's what the gist of that story was about. And just telling Black churches and churches in general, you're very vulnerable when you're at church and you're worshiping. And so I believe, because there was another shooting after that. Yes, it was. And I didn't do a story on that. But yeah, it was another shooting after that where the church members were armed, and they did lose one person, but it could have been worse because there was an armed security guard. And I feel like churches need to address that topic. Again, thank you for being on here with me. Again, I'm just announcing this whole live, this introduction to live was for me to test my live video, and then to announce that I will be doing a live next week, January 23rd at 9 p.m. Eastern time, which is a Thursday, not this Thursday, next Thursday. And bring your questions, bring your topics, bring whatever you want to discuss. We can discuss your personal topics, or we can discuss some of the topics that I'm going over right now. I'm just kind of giving a preview over all the stuff I've done since I started this channel, right? Okay. Let's kind of go tips to identify fake news. I was kind of talking about, we share a lot of we share a lot of information on social media, but I don't think we check like the reference or where it came from or what date it was originated. Because I think we keep killing celebrities, and I'll pull up and I'll see, oh, such and such died, and then I started thinking, I think they've been, and I'll open the video, and then it's 2015. There's a date of 2015, and so we just keep. And people share things just for knowledge. They may say, "Okay, I've known he's been or she's been dead for a certain amount of time, but I just wanted to share the video." I get it, but a lot of these things that we share that create chaos, those things I think we need to stop, because everybody behind the screen is not stable in their mental health, and this could create chaos in their life. And so that's what the gist of that story was about. And next was college students and suicide. You're not alone. And that case just generated from one of my friends talking about the college that she as a professor, where she is a professor. They had an enormous amount of suicides in that university, and I wanted to address that. And I knew that was just not at that university. There's something going on in the air that's creating this ideology that suicide is the way out for college students, and I wanted to address that. Tips to identify emotional eating, the generational curse. I think I'm guilty of emotional eating. When I get happy or when I get sad, I tend to grab food. And so I kind of discussed that topic. Go check out that video. The stigma of mental health in the Black community. I thought this was a great topic for my community, because I think we're afraid to go see a therapist. We think therapists are for crazy people. But sometimes we all need help because we get overwhelmed with things. We don't know what to do. Again, back to perceptions. We think our perceptions are reality. And sometimes we're so negative on ourselves that we don't realize that perception is what's making us not well. And so you need a therapist, because that's what our job is. Our job is not to give advice. Our job is not to tell you what to do. It's to help you explore different perceptions, because most times our perceptions are negative of everything we think about, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's that story, stigma of mental health. Why am I depressed? I did that one during the holidays, I believe, because I think that's the most time people get depressed. Because, and I've experienced this too, you start thinking about the people that are gone, and you feel like this day is not the same, and it's just a void that's missing, and you feel it. I actually feel it in the air for me when if I go outside to jog, or I go to a store or something, and just during that holiday season, it's just, especially that day, it just feels like there's this void missing. And, so a lot of people get depressed. So check out that video. Tips on not needing to belong, the Popeye's chicken sandwich. So I did, at this time when I did the video, the Popeye's chicken sandwich was just all the noise, and everything on social media was, I gotta try this sandwich. I gotta try this sandwich. And in my head, I'm thinking it's just the chicken sandwich. And so I started saying, well, why is everybody so focused on this chicken sandwich? Then I started thinking back from what I learned in my master's program for therapy, is that people have a need to belong. And if I participate in this, eating this chicken sandwich, and I post it on social media, I'm belonging, I'm fitting in, and that's what that video was about. And it was really just not based on the chicken sandwich, it's based on life and how we as human beings have the need to fit in, even if it's detrimental to our health and detrimental to our well-being. Yeah. Again, if you're just joining this live, this was just an introduction to my live. It's me going live and testing out the system to make sure it works for my real show, where I hope everybody will join in on January 23rd, 2020, next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. You can bring your questions. You can ask me questions on relationships, on mental health issues. Again, the disclaimer for mental health issues: if it's something that I feel like you probably need to see a therapist face to face, I will refer you. I will send you. You can send me a message. I will let you know, and we can get you that referral. And we can discuss any of the videos that I have done in the past. And so right now I'm just kind of going over all the videos that I've done in the past just to do so. Yeah. And I'm going to go really quickly with these. I am not going into the Black-owned business again. What did I say? Yeah. Tips to improve customer service. This was based on an experience I had just witnessed with me and a group of friends went into a Black-owned business, and the lady was just kind of rude and not attentive to her customers. And I felt like I needed to provide tips because I do have over 20-something years of customer service. I do know how to run a business. I do know what is expected and what is not acceptable. And that's what that was about. That was to help my business owners. How to make online dating a little more safe. That was a show that was pertaining to going online and finding a mate. Because what I was seeing, a lot of associates that I was seeing in Atlanta, they were going on these social media sites, and they were being murdered. Yes, being murdered. And yeah, it was bad. So that was that video, just providing tips for everyone on that one. And let's see. How to identify if you have anxiety. I got a lot of views on that one. Just kind of gave you tips on what anxiety is, my personal experience with anxiety. I shared my story about anxiety, and yeah. So check that one out for anxiety. How to identify if you need anger management. I kind of went through that. I am a anger management certified specialist. So I provided tips on that for everyone. Also, how to complete a dissertation. I recently completed my dissertation in August. And so this was kind of for students. I had a lot of views on that one as well. Hopefully that one is getting out. So if you're working on a dissertation, I kind of give you an overview of what to expect on that. I think I skipped one. Yeah, I did skip one. Sorry. I also did some tips on chapter 2 of the dissertation. If you're familiar with the dissertation, chapter 2 is probably your hardest chapter. So I just gave you tips on what that really is about. And each school is different, so you have to acclimate that to whatever school you're attending. We're almost there. Then I did the Kelly Renee Turner killing her kids. That one is our kids used as a possession, because I had seen a lot of kids just being murdered by their parents, by boyfriends, by a girlfriend. Just no regards to human life, especially kids on there. And then there was a story on Jason Pope, the DJ kid, I was saying, are they killing our Black girls? He was a Caucasian male who was sleeping with African-American women, knowing that he was HIV positive. So we covered that story. And then I Can't Stand You, But I Don't Know Why. That was a story I did just because I believe in life. You meet people and you instantly just don't like them. And it's okay. But check that video out. And then I did another relationship type thing is your type the reason why you're single, girl or boy? I think I'm going to make this probably one of my topics when I do a live, because I think it's important to talk about this. Then the Black woman killed by SUV. So that one was about a lady running over some women in a parking lot. And then I did a topic on a video on domestic violence relationships. Stand your ground. What does it mean to you? Black people don't commit serial killings, and yes, they do. That's not fact. That's not true. Then we covered some Joshua Brown. We covered Joshua Brown death. He was Botham Johns, I think they pronounce it that way. Neighbor, he was murdered. Come to find out what the media was saying, they were providing all the information on that one. And then I did justice for the Botham John, the Amber Geyer verdict. And then we did the Deputy Sandeep Dawala's death. He was the officer killed, just gunned down when he did a stop at, and I am at the beginning of when I started this. Like I said, my intentions were to cover the show called The Web of Lies on the ID channel, but I went in a different direction. And yeah. So again, I just did this live to I did this live just to like cover those all my topics, but just to introduce myself on the live and to invite you to January 23rd, Thursday night at 9 p.m. I will be doing a live. It's going to be an open live this time. It's going to allow you to bring your relationship questions, any questions you have pertaining to any of the shows that I've done. I've done a lot of shows, as you can see. It took me almost 40 minutes to go through those shows, so that's a lot. And I just gave a synopsis of those. And any you want to talk about any of those stories, give you your feedback on them, or you have some mental health stuff you want to talk about, you have some life challenges you want to talk about, any of those things. And then from here on out, I will schedule a live weekly to discuss certain topics. Those shows will be scripted as far as this is the topic we're going to talk about for that show. And the show's lengths are depending on if we get to the end of the show and we're in the show and we have no more to talk about, then we'll stop. Probably an hour, 2 max. And then that is it. So if you were joining me, thank you. This is the first live. Like I said, I was testing out my equipment to make sure that it's going to function as it is. And it did fine. Thank you. And welcome to the Dr. Dare Show. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're listening, that means you've already subscribed. I will do this on Instagram in a second. And I'm working on tying all of these together. I have so many pages that I have to get together. But thank you if you joined. Have a great Wednesday. Happy hump day. Have a great weekend. Look for a new video tomorrow from the Dr. Dare Show. Don't know what topic yet, but it'll be something interesting. And then give me your comments on this live. Leave comments of what you want my shows to be about for the live, because you can give me your topics now by sending comments to this and I will read them. And then we will schedule, like I said, weekly live on Thursdays, and I will get on here and chat with everyone. It'll be more people because I'm announcing it. Today was just let me pop on and get this started. Yeah, I did 40 minutes. Anyway, have a good day.